This goes back to that phrase of, I can see as far as I can because I've stood on the shoulders of giants. There are people throughout history who have lived a life and they've discovered what I call the keys, the ultimate truths. Bruce Lee is one of those people. Some of the connections between Bruce, Taoism, Stoicism, principles like stillness, right? Principles like don't complain. One of the things Bruce had said is don't talk bad about yourself, because inside your cells, your brain internally doesn't know the difference, right? You say these things and your mind's listening, your subconscious is listening. They're like spells, right? One of the Stoics said, never be overheard complaining, not even to yourself. A man can see further through a tear than the lens of a telescope. That's Bruce Lee. Well, Epictetus was born a slave. So that's hard times. Living in accordance to nature. One of the things about the Stoics, they say, look, you've got to be true to your nature. It's like a caterpillar. It goes through that transformation, becomes a butterfly. And there's other animals, that go through this process that's unlearned. It's biological. If you're put here to do something, you've got to figure that out and you've got to go for it, put everything into it. Bruce was the same way. You just look at Bruce's life, he's a pure example of this. Taoism, they talk about the same thing. The cause and effect, but there's also things that happen beyond your control, which goes into, it's not what happens to you, it's how you respond to them. This is straight from the Stoics. Another one, as Bruce has said, is don't pray for an easy life, pray for the strength to endure a hard one. Same thing with the Stoics. It's sad for the person who never gets the chance to prove themselves to themselves, right? Those hard moments bring out who you really are. When you stand up and rise against that, whatever it is, your biggest hurdles become your biggest strengths. Stillness, big one, right? Bruce Lee would talk about, can you find motion in stillness? Stillness in motion, stillness of the mind. Distractions, being free from distractions, being focused. The Stoics would say something like, okay, you've got the rocks in the ocean. You've got all this chaos, you've got waves hitting them and all this chaos, but the rocks, they don't move. Now, if you have that focus in your life, you know what you're here to do. According to your nature, you're focused. You don't get blown off course by some other shiny object, whatever it is, you're focused, right? When you do this, the things that really belong to you, you start attracting that when you become purely yourself. Starts inside. This is one of those keys to life that I look at. Bruce's writings, Bruce's thought process, all the Stoics, Epictetus, Seneca, Marcus Aurelius, all those guys. All of these things have a common theme. They fit together with those common laws, we'll call them. These are the unseen laws of life. If you want success and you focus, you want peace, you want to achieve something, these guys laid down the groundwork. Success leaves clues, as it said. But this is the type of stuff that Bruce was after, the truth. I look at it as the truth in life. These are ultimate laws of living that people have observed. These aren't made up. Nobody came up with some gimmick. These are things that they observed without clouding or bias, especially. And this is what Bruce did when he looked at combat. He looked at combat for purely what it is. Two people with two arms and two legs. What do you use? You use everything. And there's no emotion. Oh, it's got to be this style or that style, or this guy taught this style, so whatever. It's all noise. It's all noise. Break down combat to the simplest form, and there you go, right? Break down life to the simplest form. You've got these rules. All you got to do is read those books and follow them, and you're going to learn a lot. ECJKD, check us out online.